And no one really expects much of you when you're a man in a wig. So you just do whatever you want, as long as it's not breaking, like, a law. I'm Austin, I am 20, and I was born and raised in Christchurch.
I'm Little Miss Cinnamon, I'm 38 years old and from Christchurch.
Crazy ugly. Just fully swamp monster, fell out of some sort of black hole, and I just look pretty nuts. And that's the idea.
Aesthetically, I'm probably a bit of a glam queen. I like sequins and glitter and big hair. I'm more of a community-focused drag queen, so I do a lot of community events.
I did fashion at Ara, which didn't work out. Can you tell? And so I'm going back to university to study my Bachelor of Arts.
By day, I work as a health promoter for family planning. So I teach sexuality to schools and train teachers on how to teach sexuality within the New Zealand curriculum.
Obviously, coming to terms with being a gay male, I was like, I want to express some sort of form of femininity, but also just let out a lot of, just a form of like letting out a bit of anger into everything, and just a bit of like, I don't care, like a bit of edge, just being a bit nuts, being like a teenager, being a new teenager. And I was like, drag is just a really fun way of doing it.
I'm a very artistic person, so I like sewing, I love painting, and so drag makeup is pretty much painting. And it's just a great way to express my creativity, and I really enjoy creating a fun atmosphere for our community.
So I'm gonna lather my face in a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna primer, old foundation, a pretty heavy contour around the sides, but the real focus point of my drag is fully crazy eyes that go all the way up into the hairline, quite dark, and then chuck on a wig and a corset. That's basically it.
So makeup wise, I started off by blocking my brows, just using a glue stick, just a standard glue stick. And now I am working on my eyes. I'm wearing a full length sequin gown, so I'll be wearing padding to give myself that hourglass look. Sometimes we wear padding, sometimes we don't, depending on our costume. If I want an hourglass look, like a real feminine look, then I'll wear hip padding. That's just made out of just your basic foam. So most drag queens make their own padding. And then we wear about 4 to 6 pairs of pantyhose or stockings just to give it a really smooth look. Sometimes you might want to tuck, depending on your costume, whether it's like a leotard or sometimes you can get away with it depending on the material, like sequins tend to mask any kind of lumps and bumps.
You know how it's not looking straight at all, the lines and everything's not straight, like the brows, there's like bits missing. It's sort of the look I try to go for, which makes a lot of people think I'm just really bad, which I also am. But that's also the sort of point. She's not partying, she's just falling over.
I've been known to do gold, but it depends on the costume as well. I am wearing gold today, so yeah. Gold's my kind of go-to colour.
I feel like in the future I might end up being a bit more clean, but I don't know, I feel it's part of just the self-expressive. It's the point where I'm trying not to care about anything. And so I guess, yeah, sort of self-reflects in that sense. I am basically like, just sort of messing around with full, like, sort of goth drag, just to have like, it's like more or less, I don't really perform with it or anything. It's more of like a, just a self-expression thing I sort of do at home, just to go a bit crazy and sort of reduce the barriers, to have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, it's just a lot of makeup that I'm pouring over my face. It's a lot of fun.
Bye! See ya!
think it's the no expectation sort of thing. People look at you and just like, I don't know what that is, really. What are you gonna do? And so you can sort of be yourself in a weird way. You're being another person, but in reality you're being more of yourself because the walls are coming down.
I do it as an outlet for my creativity. I love the transformation. I love creating costumes. And I just like to create a fun environment for our community. Hopefully it gives them pride within themselves. And it's also just about having a bit of fun. Life's so short that we don't really need to take ourselves so seriously. So it's just about having fun and creating fun spaces and welcoming spaces for our community.
It's quite limited, but it's growing very quickly. There's not many, the gay scene itself in Christchurch is not very big, which already means the drag scene's gonna be quite small compared to places like Wellington, where it's booming. But there's so many queens that are starting like me. There's so many coming up and performing at bars at the Cuban and Cruise, and it's growing. It's still quite small, but it's growing, and it's pretty exciting.
There are a lot of younger queens who have grown up with RuPaul's Drag Race. And there are a lot of older queens who are more established. But it's definitely growing, and the venues are, popping up here and there, so there's definitely more opportunities for drag.
Hopefully I transcend into a higher gay being, but I want to just fine-tune my drag. I've finished my education, find a way to work and do this at the same time, because that would be so good, because you've got your two lives that build up, which can be bad and good. Whereas, I get to be so super self-expressive and get really good at it, and go out and the community will build, and just be crazy and be me. And obviously I'll evolve my self-character, hopefully, so I actually can draw a straight line on my face. And just hopefully get a really nice balance of the crazy as well as the actually making money and surviving.
Hopefully still enjoying drag, doing it when I want to, not when I feel like I need to, and just still enjoying it with my friends, and hopefully encouraging other young queens to put on a stiletto and some wigs and have fun and not take themselves so seriously.
Yeah, that was all I had.
Alright. Is that good?
Yeah, that was really good.
Sweet.
Some nice little answers.
Snatched. I wanted to do that the whole time.
Cool. Alright, you can stop recording. Great.